Friday. On Saturday at 6 o'clock, remember everything we're doing now in the evenings is 6. Friday happy hour, Saturday at 6 o'clock. I'm doing a leadership. I'm going to do part 2. And boy, you guys got a lot out of that one. Thank you so much. I'll do part 2 of that leadership of what is a true leader, not just a leader. We throw that word leader around so much, but a true leader. The definitions and the definition of a true leader. And then Saturday we'll come back. Saturday with leadership. Sunday with the product training. Miss Ismail will be doing our product training this coming Sunday. We take a product and really dive into the deep of how to really use that product in our business. So thank you all. So without further ado, she's back again, Your Highness, a wonderful leader. We love her on the happy hour just as much. We love her. She comes back and trains. She's always gets some great information, very methodical about it, very professional, a lot of integrity, and a godly woman. And I just love her deeply down in my soul. And she just always has some great information. And sometimes I say, look, whatever way the Lord leads you in training us, just go for it, because certain people you have to be careful of putting in front of your people. And this lady has always came with the quality and also the luxury of having great insight and helping everybody's organization, no matter what affiliation you are. So without further ado, from the Monterey Salinas / Carmel area, the one and only Miss Jocelyn Driskill, Regional Vice President Platinum. Good morning, dear.
Good morning. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good morning to all those smiling faces out there. It is great to see all of you. It's a bright, sunny morning in Monterey, California. So I'm not sure wherever you are. It looks like sun in Vegas.
Yep, Vegas.
Fresno. There's many different areas represented here. So I'm excited to be here today. I definitely am grateful every single time Mr. Thomas invites me to be on a call like this. And what I will tell you, it's actually humbling, to really work alongside these incredible mentors and leaders that have the true leaders, as we were just talking about, who have really just impacted so many lives around the world. But more importantly, I think it's important for each one of them to know how much they've impacted our own life. And so, Mr. Thomas, I'm grateful for you every day. Living in a grateful spirit, because you definitely are a blessing to ACN, to us individually, and as friends. And those happy hours, I'm so sorry I missed it on Friday, but I will be back. Is it only Friday now, not Wednesday night either? Friday? Friday?
Just Fridays.
Okay. I will at least join you for a little bit after I get off our webinar. So I love those. So it's great.
Love it. Love to have you.
Awesome. So I thought about this weekend and I prayed over it myself, and it's just what I do. And for some reason, something was really, truly pulling me to talk to all of you about social media. And maybe in a way that you've never heard. Let me maybe ask each of you a question, and I definitely want to take question and answers. Let me preface this. I'm not a social media guru. I just know the results that I have received and gained from using social media. So maybe ask yourself a question. Are you using social media? And are you not using social media? And the question is, if you're not, why? And I hope to be maybe a little bit of an insight and guide to it, because as a 55-year-old woman and a mother and a grandmother, social media and technology is not my thing. But I do know that in this world today, if we don't change with it, we get left behind. And so using social media, and there's many reasons to that statement, and social media is just one of them. So first of all, ask yourself that question. Why are you not using it? Are you afraid to use it? Are you unsure what to share? So I'm going to go over some of these things. And I don't know, Mr. Thomas, if they have any questions, I'm happy to take questions along the way. And again, I want to make sure you guys know that what I'm sharing with you is only my experience, what I'm finding, what I see. One of the gifts that I've been given in my life is to be a noticer. I notice things. I'm very conscious about what's out there on social media. I look at the way successful people share and post, whether in our venue and in our genre or outside of it, to see how they're winning in their social and what it looks like socially. Because, you know, in social distancing, what we're having, you know, and I don't know what that really means, but you know, social and communication is your number one key to build anything in life. Build a relationship, build a business relationship. So what are you communicating out there? And I took a bunch of notes. So I have a lot of things that I'm going over because, you know, these things stood out to me. As I was praying about it, another message would come to me and I'd write it down, and things to really get people to think. So understanding in social media, it's not about being perfect. In life, it's not about being perfect. It's about being authentic and real. But when I say that, I want to make sure that you understand being authentic and real on social media doesn't mean also your drama and and anything that's negative going on in life, because people experience that in their own lives and they don't want to experience it on social media, so they'll pass right over you. How do you get noticed on social media, you know, as you're building your business? Because building your business should be organic. These are many conversations that we had in our previous trainings and talks with Mr. Thomas here, understanding who are you being? What are you attracting to you? Because it is all about attraction. I think I shared on the Ask Al evening on that Wednesday night was, you know, how I've been able to get people in my business who came to me because of what they saw on social media, and not realizing I already had been a part of their world, but they saw me more out there on the social media platform because that's where they were. So I want to get some of these things across to each of you to help you maybe think and expand beyond where your thinking is. And also understanding, when we talked about I think it was on Ask Al as well, as the forming part. So if form is faith or family, occupation, recreation, money. And when you're talking to somebody, that's what you should always be thinking is forming. But if you're doing that, can you imagine all the people on social media that might be doing that with you? So if you're focused on one of those things all the time in your business, they're not knowing who you are. So maybe ask yourself the question, who am I? What do I talk about my family? Do I talk about my occupation? I don't mean in the occupation part of it. Think about it. Do people know you do ACN? Do people know you live, breathe, and love ACN? Do they see what's going on there in your business? You know, if you do something outside of that of ACN, what do you do? Because other people need to know that if you do this and you do this, they could do it too, right? So they need to see both sides of that. Recreation, what do you do for fun? You know, what is even though you can't get out and do all the things that you love that right now, like I love to travel. So when I'm traveling, they're seeing my traveling. And if those people always, you know, I don't know if Mr. Thomas has this, and people say, gosh, you're always traveling. One of the biggest things when I ask people, what do you want to do? What do you love to do if you had more time and more money? They say travel. But then when I travel, some of them go, well, you're traveling so much. I go, because I love it. I don't have to. So understand, people are people and there'll always be people. But what do you love to do? It should be shown out there. Money. You know, when you have money, what do you want to do with the money? Even if you don't have money, what do you do? What do you like to give back? I mean, what is your philanthropy? What is it that you love to really share with people about money, the part of it? We can talk more about that. But I just want you to get into your head, if you're out there talking to people and you're forming them by your questions, many of them are forming you by what they see. So you can't be unbalanced, and we talk about the balance part of it, but you can't on social media all be about business. And then they don't see that you have any fun or that you even like to have fun, right? I mean, you should be showing those things. So I want to talk about that a little bit. And if you have questions on that, But the question was to come back to you and say, if you're forming them, I bet you they're forming you. And that's what I'm thinking. When I go through social media and I'm liking and I don't spend a lot of time. So I'm going to preface this with, we're branding ourselves. So if we're branding ourselves on social media, we're not there to go and spend hours and hours on social media ourselves to really like, and you need to get some followers and you need to like things of other people, but don't spend hours on that. And you should be doing it, really early in the morning after I do it after my God time, just a few things. I do my spiritual stuff. So I said last week, God, family, business. So that's how I run my day. So if I'm doing God in the morning, guess what I'm sharing in the morning on social media? It's, a scripture or something. So I'm very methodical about how I use this. Now, Darren Hardy, I took a insane productivity course with him online, and he got me on track on how to be really effective in my social media and how I am effective in my day and how I use it. Also, late at night, some of you will see some of those postings don't even come till after 11 o'clock at night when I can't make any more phone calls or talk to any more people, right? So really important to think about. So when I'm looking at social media and I am going through some of people's posts, so who are you following? Are you watching the successful people and how, if you don't have like someone like Melissa Street or Patrick Mazer or Efren Tejada or some of the other powerhouse females that do use social media in ACN, Chanel Burt, Aaron Burt, you need to follow them because they are posting where they're attracting. They're the ones who are having success via social media. People are watching. You know that some will, some won't, some wait, some are watching? That some are watching is one of the most powerful things to remember, because those people who don't answer you or respond to you, they're watching. And the biggest part of right now, especially in today's world with this coronavirus, is they're watching you on social media. So awareness is also a key. So when I'm going through some of the social medias of friends and family out there, I glaze over many of it. And the reason I glaze over it is because it's so repetitive and so one-sided in their forming. Like it's all business, or it's, negativity. Are you unfriending the negativity? Because I can tell you, one of the things you should not post is politics. Especially right now in this world, no matter how much you feel, we want to keep our politics between each other who probably have the same feeling, because otherwise you get in arguments and so forth. And the last thing you want to do on social media is get in an argument with someone or feel offended or offend someone else. Our freedoms are already being taken away, so we don't want to take other people's freedom away. And so we want to be aware of that. So when I look at form, I think of the F as this: family, faith, and fitness. So if you look at social media with all the fitness gurus out there, a lot of times it's really one-sided unless they're using their own business page, and it should be that. But on their personal page, it's so much fitness that you don't know what else they do. And so for me, I mean, it's great to see someone in good shape and they're always doing that, but I want to see more than fitness. I want to see who they are as a person, because I'm attracted to character. I'm attracted to integrity. So do you want to attract a huge audience, or are you attracting just one audience? So if you're a millennial, are you just attracting millennials? So who are you being so that you can attract a larger audience? Because I'm assuming, like myself, as in the elder category, I'm not elderly, but in the older category, I want to attract all the generations. I want to attract from the next generation to the millennials, to the baby boomers. You want to attract all of them. You want to attract business owners. I'm assuming millennials and next generation, you want to attract business owners. And most business owners are not in that age group unless they're older 30s. So you want to make sure that your target market should be every age group. Does that make sense to everybody? Give me a thumbs up if it's making sense to you guys. Okay. So it's all about showcasing different areas of your life. So F is family, faith, and fitness. So think about those things. If you're missing one of those things, and again, whatever your faith is, that's yours, and we want to make sure that we're true to you on that. But share something on each one of those. Are you taking care of your health? In fact, it might help you. I'm not a fan of people showing their bodies and all of that stuff and look at me, you know, but what are you doing for your health? Are you out running? You know, share some tips with people on what you're doing. Are you kickboxing? You don't have to show your before and after pictures to actually, you know, I'm not really even a fan of that, especially if you're trying to build a business. Before and after pictures aren't always the best to show your body, because you'll turn off some people in that, and you don't want to turn off anybody. You want to attract people to you. Okay, so important to know that if you're a millennial and you have we didn't have social media back then, and I had before and after pictures, but they never got shown, but people saw me out in the world and could notice, right? You want to be noticed in clothing, not less clothing. That you want to be noticed for who you are inside your heart, because I will tell you, most men are attracted to the heart of a woman, and they see the beauty from the inside out, not from the outside in. So that's really important to understand. So don't show your insecurities by having to show your body. I don't know why I needed to say that, but I just needed to say that.
Amen.
Right? And then a man like Mr. Thomas is not looking just for the exterior. That's not what he's looking for. He's looking for someone who has heart, and I don't know, there's just a beauty that comes out in someone when you get to know them, and it's not about what they look like on the outside. And I just think women today tend to forget that piece. Super important.
Yeah, very much so.
Yep. Okay, we can move on from that one. So
I want to jump in just for a second on that. It's so important. I can't tell you how many times I have had to call people up and say, take that down. That's not, you're not exploiting the business, exploiting yourself. Take that down. I can't begin to tell you. And yeah.
It makes me sad, actually. And I know it comes from insecurities, but if Mr. Thomas and I can help you in that sense, is just to tell you that none of that matters to anybody. It should matter to you that you're getting in good health, but not to showcase out there in the world on social media. It just isn't. Okay, so moving on. You know, personal life on your social media, I can absolutely tell when someone is in a drama moment, even if it's not blatantly out there where they're saying it, but I can tell by how they're coming across. And it's such a turnoff. If it's a turnoff to me when I can care about anybody and where they're at, and all it wants me to do is, oh, I need to talk to that person. It hurts me so much to watch it, right? Any of you feel that way? Yeah? Okay. So I don't know. I don't want it to just be me. I want to make sure that I'm hitting this audience here, that how important it is to make sure that your drama, even though it's authentic and real to you, people need to see how you're on the other side of that. And I think that if you're putting positivity out there, you're helping that drama inside of you go away. So I know some of the millennials and some of the next generation like to use TikTok. I'm not a super fan of it. It actually annoys me because it goes so fast, and it's like, but how are you using that TikTok? If you're using it, use it correctly, because again, if I was to look at someone in the millennial, and I'm on social media, let's just say, look, take yourself, and you're not an ACN, and you're on social media, what are you looking for? who's attracted, who are you attracted to on social media that you would want to know more about that person? Because I can tell you as a business person, if you're, and as a spiritual person, if you're putting drama out there in a roundabout way, I'm definitely not attracted to that. I'm turning it off. And so now you've lost, you would have lost hundreds of thousands of people because you lost me. You lost Mr. Thomas. I know a lot of people in our age group don't even get on social media because it's really a place, you have to really go through the right places to find people that you're attracted to, because there's so much negativity, especially today. So don't put any more out there. So who are you being if you're going through anything right now? And I can tell you probably 3/4 to half of us on this have something we're going through, right? Talk to somebody personally about that. Don't put it on social media, or even a roundabout way, even in a fun way, like through TikTok. It's just not attractive, in my opinion. This is just my opinion to you guys, and I hope that it serves you, because I'm going to give you an example. I shared this again on Ask Al that night on Wednesday, which was, I had a woman who got started in my business. She owns 3 traditional businesses here in Monterey County, very successful businesses, and they're still going today. But she was on social media, and all of a sudden I got a message from her. She's around my age group, who said, gosh, I need to know you. And I shared that the other night. I need to know you. And she came to find out that because she's the president of a professional women's network here in Monterey. And she's like, I need to know you. You need to be a part of our professional women's. And she realized that I already was. We just haven't run into each other because I don't attend all the time to those networking groups. And, today, you fast forward about 5 months later, she's now in my business. She hit ETL in 5 days. So I don't say that at all to impress anybody. I just say that because I'm really conscious and aware every single day of my postings, how I'm coming across. If I'm going to share, it better be valuable to somebody out there. If I'm going to take my valuable time away in my day to post, it better be valuable. I'm definitely not wasting my time doing TikToks about anything, because to me, it's just something for myself. Like, do a TikTok for yourself and play it for yourself. That's just how I feel about that. I don't know what other social media gurus say about TikTok. I know it's a fun thing to do. I'm going to do it with my grandkids. Even what's the other one? I don't do too much of Snapchat, but they have some fun things on there that you can do with your grandkids. And I've done that with my granddaughter and posted it. So think about your life. Are you showcasing on a daily basis family, faith, fitness, occupation, what you do? Are you getting ACN out there? See, the most important thing is people need to know what you do and why you're passionate about it. So I'm always sharing on my story, flyers of all, of the people that I'm working with, like Mr. Thomas and the company, what people can do, because you never know, a random person could get on one of those webinars. And when they say, get back to the person who invited you, who's the person that invited them? Because you shared it, it's you. So sharing those on my story, I share those consistently. So people, in fact, I haven't done it this morning because I was preparing for this, is making sure that you have those going through your story. The story piece is very, very important. Also, on your timeline page, I like quotes. Even in stories, there's a lot of quotes that are out there, like quotes after quotes after quotes after quotes. It would be my personal opinion, I don't know how you want to say it, about quotes. A quote a day is great. It's kind of like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But we don't need to have quote after quote. Who are you posting those for? Are you posting them for yourself, or are you posting them for someone else? Because I think when there's too many in a row, you've lost some people. I don't know how any better to say that, is that you've lost some people. So I think a quote a day, and I even enjoy seeing people post a quote on a picture of them on stage, or a picture of them in front of a room, or if you gave a testimony on a Zoom, put that quote on that so that they see you and that business quote. Personal quotes, share stories that are in your daily life. I try to do some videos here and there. The videos are really, really good. We also have another business, as many of you know, and I posted the other day a couple little small projects we did in our house. People love those things. And so you want to make sure that you're attracting other people, not just the business people, other people that like other things. And when they see that you're more well-rounded, that you have more happy, whether it's your grandkids, whether it's your mom, whether it's your dad, your relationships, friendships, like, just randomly post, this is one of my greatest friends I've had all my life, and say something nice about them. Are you supporting local business? One of the things that I'm going to do a campaign this week on local businesses I've supported during this time. So their product or their service and a picture of them. I have other network marketing friends that, sell hair care, whatever. I'm going to take the hair care that I use and a picture of that person, and I'm going to showcase them in my social media. Why? Because I actually care about them. I care about their passion, and people see that we support other businesses. So it's really, really important that you think about the whole picture, not just the now picture, where you're at. Where do you want to go? So where do you want to go? Who do you want to attract? You got to think outside of the box, and you got to be consistent. So I post pretty much every day, but it's strategic. It's strategic posting, when I do it, how I do it, what I'm doing, and I'm not all of the same thing all the time, okay? And looking at other people and friending other people that you wanted to attract, you need to get out there and do that. Friend people that are the people you're following in ACN. If they're not your friends, reach out and become a friend of them. It's just something you got to step out of the box that we get ourselves in, and get uncomfortable, where you're going to find actually the magic. So what I wanted to look at a couple other things that I wrote, because who are you attracting, not repelling? That's another thing I wrote down. Are you going? Let's see. I think I covered most of it. I just want to make sure that not only did I can get you on track and get you in the right direction. If you're not doing social media, how can we help you step into that world and feel comfortable and be consistent, so we can attract? Because I had the other day, I'm going to share this, the last thing, and then anybody can ask questions. I had an independent business owner that was over as a friend. The other day I invited her over because she's been social distance, hasn't gone anywhere, and she's single, and she's just alone. And I know sometimes if you're alone too much, that's not a good thing. And so I sat with her, and we were having some friendship conversations, and then I know where she's at in her life and in her business. And the subject came up, and she said to me, this is the excuse she gave me. She said, when I got laid off, which is her why, she hates her job. She's been there a long time and she hates it, but now she's in a place of stuck. Why? Because she's relying on gosh, I can't even think of the name of it because I can't imagine taking it, but it's unemployment, right? Okay, so she's on unemployment getting extra money. And I don't say that lightly, I'm sorry, but it's just, I want people to get beyond being supported by the government and because you have the gift in your hands. And this is what I was trying to tell her, but her excuses were, I don't have the names of the people, I left them all at the office, da, 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 da. but there's Messenger, there's social media, there's so much, but I couldn't even get myself to say that because the limiting beliefs that people put on themselves in this time and rely on thinking that they're just going to go back to work and everything's going to be back to normal, which we don't want back to normal. We want to go forward to a new normal where it's greater and bigger and our minds are expanded and we're elevating our lives in a whole different way. And that is my hope. My hope for all of you is that you level up, that you bring a different you to the table in this time. You know, where everybody else is depressed and stuck. How can you help somebody else? If you can help somebody else get out of stuck, you get yourself out of stuck. And whatever kind of stuck that is, it's different for each person, but I believe you can change your whole mindset if you get out there and surround yourself with the right people on social media. Obviously being here, you're with the right people. And we're all trying to help each other get into a new phase in our life, a new phase in our business. We want to have a thriving life, not a surviving life. And this is what I'm seeing right now is people are just surviving. And it's only going to get worse if they stay in that place of just survival. And ACN is a place where you can go thrive, but you want to make sure that you're the person. Be the person that you want to attract, and don't just be one avenue of people, not just millennials, not just next gen, not just baby boomers. You want to attract a wide variety of people to your life and around you, because you know, our next generation is our next generation. Our millennials are our next generation, and you want those in your team just as well as you want a baby boomer who's seasoned. And I'm not right at the baby boomer time, but somewhere before that. I don't even know what that middle piece is called. But anyway, there's a lot of different generations, and you want to make sure that you are attracting those. So with that being said, any questions you guys might have, I hope it's helpful serving you. Anything I can do to help you get past either being scared of being on social media, or maybe how to elevate yourself on social media so you get noticed.
You know, while we're waiting for people to comment, I'm gonna give a comment here. You know, when you start talking about social media and not just being one-sided, and I think that's so important not to be one-sided, to be rounded. And when you said that, my dear friend Brian Baker came into my mind, because he's always showing food. And he draws a lot of people in with food, and I didn't understand in the beginning. I'm saying, because he's not one-sided. And then I noticed he'll post about business or becoming a customer. So when I think what you said, I think of Brian Baker, because he's he's good at that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people out here, hey, his food is food. But then it's like his net. He catches it with the food. He catches it with the food, then he gets him as a customer or an IVL. So it's like, goop, gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, and I think when you said that, I thought of him, because he's so good at it.
I thought of him too, and I see him right there on the, hi Brian, you are amazing. So those of you who aren't following Brian, follow Brian and see what he's doing and how he's doing it. And again, different generation, and I'm sure he's attracting generations that are outside of his own. And I'm always following him. He makes me smile, right? So when you're going past posts, who makes you smile, right? Who makes you feel good? Who makes you want to eat? Who makes you
makes me hungry?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of, you got to be hungry. Les Brown,
you got to be hungry.
You got to be hungry. But I just got that book in the other day. So, but yes, that's really, really important, is to be conscious. We got to start being conscious in this world. We can't walk through this world and not, we can't keep having our blinders on. We have, and staying right here. We have to open up. You know, when I coach people, a lot of times, whether it's personally, sometimes it's spiritually, and we have these conversations about boundaries. See, a lot of people build a wall. They build a wall in front of them where people can't get in. And I believe you got to knock down that wall, and you just got to build a boundary, because there's people that will really want to step on you, or you know, this is a whole nother conversation, but understand the difference between boundaries and walls. People need to know where you stand, and what you stand for, and not put up a wall so people can't even get to you. Get that boundary, take down the wall, and then open yourself up, because if you have a boundary, nobody can pass that boundary if you don't let them. But you don't have a wall where they feel like you're not even open. Like you're not, there's many of you on social media that, and I'm not saying you specifically, that are closed, that you feel like you can't get, there's a wall there, and there's no listening and seeing the true self behind that person. And so I'm hoping to break down those walls and barriers that you put in front of yourself, and believe that you have something to share. Everybody has a voice in this world. Use the voice that people need to hear. Any questions?
There's questions in the chat, Mrs. Driskill.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. Do you friend or block some people? DYI millionaire. I like that title. Who is that? Who am I talking to? Do you friend or block some people? I do. Should I give you an example of one very close to me? So I shared something that I thought was definitely, and I don't share, like I said, I don't share political stuff. So I didn't really share anything political. It just happened to be something that a doctor had said about, something that might arise that could help the coronavirus. I mean, I don't need to go into that. And my mere post was, this might be something you want to check out and see for yourself, and see if it, something you should know. And that's all I really said. Very, very simple. I wasn't adamant about anything. But do you want to know that my cousin commented on it? First one. So how many know that the negative people are right on everything? They're there. So she shares, you're being, oh gosh, what did she say? It was really, it was just in my face, right? And it's my cousin. So know that it happens. She just is negative about everything. And she just said, you're being irresponsible, telling people that they could take, and I didn't tell anybody to do anything. I just merely shared a doctor, but, just somebody was getting better from having this help them, and they were sharing it. And she's like, you're trying to kill people. Oh, really? Okay. So what I did is I said, we'll just agree to disagree, right? We'll agree to disagree. You can have your right to your opinion. I shared that with her before I took the post down, because I am not here to have a battle with anybody. That's what I know the enemy wants to do, is to have a battle between people. And I just said, if you don't like what I'm sharing, don't follow me. She doesn't have to make comments, and she doesn't have to follow me, right? So I would have unfriended her myself just to not have that, but she already unfriended me before I got there. So, right. So it's okay though. See, I'm still smiling because it's okay. It's where she's at. So yes, I will. If I see people that are just, they're not serving me or have value to me, in my space, that's my space, that's my freedom. But I don't use it to post to instill any of my beliefs on anybody. If people want to follow it and like it and are being fed by it, they're going to stay there. Those that don't, they're going to go somewhere else. And then those that are just negative will say something, and I get them off of my page, or they get me off of their page because I requested it. So it's all good, right? Just know that it's okay, because you don't need that in your space. Even if they're just feeling it in your space, you don't want that in your space. So yes, that's another. Okay, so I have a cousin like that. Oh, yep. Luann, we all have cousins and people in our life like that. Didn't realize, but the negative people jump on. Yes, they do. They jump on you right away because they're in such a negative space. So I usually pray for them as soon as that happens, because they're in such a negative space and nothing's ever going to be right for them until they find themselves. What else? But now I was thinking, do you see other questions on there? I see people responding. Add your real name.
Do you want me to read you, Mrs.
Yeah.
Driskill?
Yeah.
All right, so we have a question from Harrison, And
Okay.
he said, thank you, Jocelyn. What did you say you share on your stories? The VOM question mark.
Okay, so what do I specifically share on my stories? Okay, tell me what VOM stands for.
Hey, Harrison, what do you mean? Do you mean like the family faith fitness? That might be the answer to that.
VOM.
Next one.
Okay. So let me answer that. So on my stories, it's the same, you know, I am kind of fed by what I pray for in the morning. So it's just something that feeds me, and I just put it out there. So the first thing I usually share every morning is a scripture that I'm consistent about. I promised myself and God that that's what I would do every single day, share a scripture in some way. And I add things that might be, so if you go to my story, and some of you follow me, anybody's welcome to follow me, you'll see that I add things to hopefully capture somebody's eye because it's blinking or it's something, right? And a lot of my scriptures are, any generation would be attracted to the way they're set up, okay? And they're actually already created for you in the Bible app. But then I'm sharing the daily overviews. I mean, I have the flyers and I'm posting those, and I'm putting something blingy and join us live, right? Hopefully to capture somebody. I'm looking just for one person. I'm not looking for hundreds of people. And in between, I might post a video, like I posted some mornings I post where I'm working outside of in my backyard. I share videos. So when you're on something like this, so I would take a snapshot right now of Miss Natasha Ismail, and I have a group of you on top, and I might share a post. In fact, I'll just take it right now, and you'll see if you go to my when I get there after this. But I'm going to share something about Natasha. Follow Arturo Neshi. Follow Caesar Tapia. They take little snippets of a testimony on their overviews, and they post them on their shares, which is something I do as well. And say something like, if Natasha gave a testimony, you would say something about that testimony right there as that video is going. It's really powerful, and you're going to capture the right people. But again, it shouldn't all be business. You've got, then I'll post something of my grandchildren. I might have done on a timeline. I might have posted something about my grandkids, and then maybe one little picture of them up in my story. So there's many different ways you can do it. Again, I'm not a perfection. I'm not, I don't have the professional social media exactly, but I know what it's bringing to my business and to my life, the people that are coming into my life, regardless. Okay.
Awesome. So next question, Latasha Walker is asked or said, I need help to be elevated while on social media. So we might need clarification on that.
Yeah. So you want to elevate your social media, or you need help to be elevated while on social media. So what is that? Yes, I need clarification. Does she want to unmute herself and ask that question? How do you say her name? Latasha?
I believe Latasha.
Latasha. Okay. Latasha, are you there? You can just unmute yourself.
Mr. Bree can do that.
I'm here.
There we go.
There you are. Hi.
Yeah, I'm trying to, well, I post a lot of questions that I get off of the calls and all that, but it's still hard for me to try to capture somebody's attention.
Well, it's about being consistent, but are you showing other things besides the business? Your personal life, things you like to do, like Mr. Thomas was talking about Mr. Baker, and he loves food and he cooks really good food, and I showcase my husband's food and what he does all the time, our pizza oven. People love that stuff. And so if there's something that you're passionate about, I want you to start posting more of that to attract those types of people to you, like Mr. Baker's doing. And then incorporate your business stuff in there, because that's what I believe it's probably, I haven't seen it and I can go look at it. It's probably one-sided. or two-sided. Not, it's not, you know, family, faith, fitness, occupation, recreation, money.
Okay.
That forming part. So
Yeah,
who do
balance.
who do you want to attract to your business, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that, and it, you want to attract people too that love you for who you are as well. So
Okay.
things that you're passionate about, I start doing that more and just incorporate a little bit of those snippets of your business and do more of the other, because you got off balance, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you're welcome to reach out to me. No,
Yes,
happy to help you.
thank you.
Let's do this. One more question. One more question.
All right, so another one is, do you leave the Zoom number on the post or do you block it out so that people reach out to you to ask for it?
I leave the Zoom number on. And the reason I do that is because my hope is that they get on, right? So they're not always necessarily going to reach out to you. Now that we have control over codes, so I'll leave the Zoom number on there. And like Mr. Thomas, if it's a, you know, has a special code to it, then I say PM me for the code. And you'll get some people answering that. Some people don't. I've had both, you know. I've had people reach out to me directly, not through Messenger, because they have my phone number for the code. So it does work. And again, it's not about the masses. It's about the 1 or 2 or 3 that you're looking to capture.
So now tying
and I mean
into
capture
that,
as in a good way. I don't mean capture, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
so tying into that, do you show ACN or are you blocking ACN out?
I never block ACN out. People, again, you guys, do you love ACN? No, do you love ACN? That's me too. Why do you block them out? I don't, the wrong people go in, the wrong people do the wrong thing anyway. But if they don't know about ACN and you're not embracing ACN, why should they? You got to embrace ACN. Look at Patrick Mazer. He talks about PBRs. Do people know what PBRs are? No, they don't know what a PBR is. He puts it on his thing, right? All the flyers that I use have ACN on them. If they put it on there, I'm not blocking it out. If you cross it out and you put it on social media, what do you think people are going to think about that? They're thinking you're evading something. Why would you evade the name of ACN? It is the most powerful name in business out there. That is a bad thing to do, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So all it tells me, this is what it tells me, is you're hiding and you don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Your belief system has not shifted to believe 100. You can't do any more than 100, but 100% that you believe in what you're doing and who you're partnered with, if you're crossing out the name ACN.
In other words, you just killed your own business.
Mm-hmm.
As they say in the South, you just shot yourself in the foot.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Yes, because that's the people you're gonna attract to that are the ones that are actually gonna go Google it for whatever reason. Because, you know, if you're thinking that way, your thinking attracts that. Whatever you're thinking, you're attracting. Whatever you're believing, you're attracting. So change that belief and own it. You are a business owner of ACN. Own it. People need to see what you own, what you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about ACN, why are you here?
You know, Saturday night on leadership, I talked about a true leader. And here again, you cut me, I bleed ACN colors. I mean, if the wheels fall off. So like you said, what is your belief level? Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid to talk about it everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. Am I right?
Yeah, I think what happens, Mr. Thomas, is people's belief system is based on their reality, what they've done, what they haven't done. Is it true to believe that there have been huge success stories in ACN? And if you believe that and you've seen it, That's where your belief level should be, not your opportunity, because wherever you are in life is where you are in life and what you've chosen and how you step through the door. And now you're putting your belief system on someone who could actually go farther than you sooner than you did because of their belief system. But you haven't attracted them because of the belief system. It's a vicious cycle. So you have to believe the opportunity with the people who have already had success before you. Your time is coming. You just need to keep doing what you're doing, staying consistent and believing more for yourself. It really.
I remember when I first got in my first MLM, I thought I was ESD already. The paperwork hadn't caught up yet, but I did the work of it, and my belief was way over there. I was selling the dream before I even got there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times we tend to pull back because we're not where we want to be, or we look at how we have been.
Mm-hmm.
No, you got to sell yourself and the dream.
And that's why, Mr. Thomas, I know that people aren't getting their people in front of the right people. See, if you just promoted someone else, not ACN, because you think if you haven't had the success, how could you lead someone to success, right? If you hadn't had the right success. So who should you get them on the phone with? Someone who's had success. So the first thing I would do is say, I need to introduce you to someone who's had huge success I'm working alongside, who's teaching me every step of the way how this company can actually impact your life. And your opportunity can even be better than my opportunity depending on you, right? When people say, well, what have you made? I can't stand when people say that. Who would ever ask that question? That's a broke person asking that question, in my opinion. But why would you answer that question? And why always stay on the offense, not the defense in a conversation, and always talk about the people you work with, like Mr. Thomas. This opportunity isn't just ACN. This opportunity is the people. It's the people and their vision and their dreams. And this is who I get to work alongside and who's showing me the way to success. I've never done network marketing before. I also do something else. And so I'm learning this, and I have the best mentor in the company to show us how to do this together. Get yourself out of the way. We try to be the deal when when we don't need to be the deal. Right? Because of our own insecurities. That's the problem. It's the insecurities that we place on ourselves that aren't real. They're not real. So, any other questions? Anything else I can share? Hope this is helpful. Oh, Mr. Ishmael.
There's one more.
And Ishmael's raising his hand.
So his question is, how do I show myself without showing the tendency to gossip? I feel like that is show more to feminine.
You want to talk to me, Ishmael? You want to say that? Open up your mic real quick.
Just stop gossiping.
Yeah, yes.
Just stop it.
I'm not sure. I didn't want to make sure. I didn't want to assume that's what he meant. Oh, it went back on mute.
Oh, I'm talking about people who go and sell Tupperware, Herbalife, Amway. That's why it was stay away from all that kind of stuff. And being social for me, that area, it was like it's more like a Tupperware for women, and Herbalife and it's for makeup and that kind of stuff. And I see that you're going through a different direction, and I never had that point of view. I'm switching my point of view of this, but obviously I feel like a baby walking, holding the walls.
Yes, I mean,
not that I feel afraid of ACN, because I am not. I'm very passionate when I'm talking about ACN, and but that's the thing. I bring it to you. I don't know.
Yes. Well, and keep that passion, but sometimes we can throw it too much in people's faces, which is what Tupperware, and a lot of times they're always trying to sell something. So if you look at my social media and you look at some of the other leaders, you're not going to see too much of the services and products out there in front of the, we're not showcasing that in our social media.
Okay.
The only thing that I ever showcase in regards to that is I will take a video clip. You know, when Mr. Thomas is doing a presentation and there's a, you know, the video, our video, and it says, you know, someone's turning on a light switch, someone is swiping a credit card, someone is, right? I videotape that and I put it on my story. Reason I do that is it's just little tidbits of what do they get paid on, right? And it says,
Yes.
can you imagine getting paid on services such as that, right? That's the video. So I just, and then you have the Zoom and you have the people on it watching an overview. Those things are very powerful. You don't, a lot of it is more about just getting a little bit in their head. That's why you don't like Tupperware makeup, because it's always in your face, right? It's all, they're selling. We're not here to sell. We're here to share. So change the S word from selling to sharing, okay? We're not in the convincing business.
Okay.
Right? People see it. Share your passion through your forming. So share the passion of because your business, ACN, can bring so many of these other things to life. Your family, your fitness, your the money, obviously, recreation.
Okay.
You know, those things are more important for people to see. And then also tidbits of your business. That is, what's the key word in this business? Don't present, peak.
Plus, it brings curiosity when they see that blitz, curiosity.
Always. And I can tell you that was 100% my 3 business owners I signed a month ago. So.
All right, everybody. Can we give Miss Jocelyn Driskill a beautiful hand for the time she spent with us today? You can tell there's a lot of thought went in today's call. And I love the idea of taking bits of this. That was a blessing for me here. The you know, that little piece that ACN has posted. Get the mind thinking. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, ACN has everything laid out for us. The system that works. We got a lot of great information this morning, how we can all implement it. I'm looking forward to seeing some results that everybody's going to get out of today. I want to thank all of you out there today for doing this. Ms. Jocelyn Driskill did an amazing job. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back with Mr. Dwight Williams from Houston, Texas. And Wednesday, we got the Matt Sievers coming in. And Thursday, we've got Mr. Dean Torelli. And Friday, Mr. Brian Nelson, on what not to say and do. That should be
that'll be good.
You gotta add another 4,000 lines on for that call on what not to do on Friday. So we got great stuff here. So can we give Miss Jocelyn Driskill a hand one more time?
Thank you so much
for that. Tomorrow morning we'll be back. And don't forget, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, and Thursday, 6 o'clock, 1 through 8, 10, and then a quick start training right after that. So thank you all. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Be safe out there. If you need any help with any other leaders, call us. We're there to help you. God bless, and thank you so much. See everybody soon. Bye-bye. Tomorrow morning.